Hi guys, welcome to my TV guide, all about what I'm watching. I'm Alta, and we're about to talk Sleepy Hollow. So tonight's episode was called Root of All Evil, and it turns out the root of all evil is a coin from, Ichabod's time. So this episode was cute, but it was also not. Okay, so we had Henry walking into every place, going everywhere, talk about some bitch I mean, introducing currency into the U.S. monetary market. He was building himself a little, toy version of Sleepy Hollow. He was getting people infected left and right. He told Abraham off, insulted him. He told Katrina off, and then he went to his childhood home and set his birthbed on fire. So that was him. Now, Ichabod himself tried to walk around like bitch on me, except he has no ID. He has no ID, no driver's license. We don't know if he's a Class E driver. We don't know if he's a naturalized citizen with that accent, if he's a permanent resident, or if he's here on a visa. He's got nothing. Ichabod was a big old pill in this episode. He was doing a whole lot with not much. So he stepped up to Reyes and ended up getting her version of, you see this gun? I'm authorized to use it on you. He was just doing so much. He caught an attitude with her. He caught an attitude with the waitress at the bar. He was catching an attitude about Nick. So we meet Nick, okay? He's one of Jenny's friends, and like all of Jenny's friends, he specializes in smuggling weapons and, getting precious artifacts and all that stuff, and kind of secretly believing in the supernatural and powers and all that stuff. So we meet him, okay? And he's a regular dude. He's not, he knows what he's doing, and he knows what he wants, and he's not afraid to let you see that he knows what he wants. I mean, he wasn't even talking that much. Between the two of them, Nick is a man of few words compared to Ichabod, and somebody please tell me why Ichabod and Abbie too were so earnest in front of Nick, especially coming off of Henry. You guys met this dude, and he had powers. He's the sin eater, and of course they were sent to him by Katrina. But it's like, you guys just got betrayed by an ally. Why are you so open with this guy? And by the end of the episode, Abbie's like, we need all the people we can get. Well, not by the end of the episode, but while they were in the woods, she was like, we need all the allies we can get. But it's like, did you guys go into this? I know the show went into this. The writers went into this knowing that they were going to end up working with Nick again, but it's like they weren't supposed to know that. So why were they so free with information when this guy could end up betraying them? Which is what Ichabod was worried about, but at the same time, he was running his mouth like Nick was Jenny. Like, he knew all about him. He was going on about Benjamin Franklin and whoever the historical guy was for this episode. I keep wanting to say Paul Revere, but I know that wasn't him. Did I say Benjamin Franklin already? He was talking about everybody that he knew, and then Abbie was talking about the damn apocalypse and all that stuff, all in front of Nick. It's like, you guys don't know him. I don't understand why. You might as well tell Reyes. Why not just tell Reyes? They made a big deal about not telling Irving in season 1. They're making a big deal about not telling Reyes now, but Nick, who they only know through Jenny, okay, the last time you guys met some of Jenny's friends, they pulled guns on you. So much so that Jenny had to pull 2 guns on them. Like, what were they doing? So Ichabod was complaining, and he was bigging up Katrina because he still stands for her. That's whatever. And then he tells Abbie he's gonna talk to Henry, but then when he tells Abbie he can handle Henry, let him handle it. And then when he gets up in Henry's face, he's talking about personal stuff instead of talking about the coins. And then Henry's like, I'm a lawyer now, got a lot of cases going, but I can still fit in family, if you ever need that. He was just, and then he went to confess about, I don't understand what his problem with Nick was. Nick wasn't doing anything except being there and kind of looking at him like, you're doing a little too much. I like Nick. I like him, he's cute, and I can't wait to see him again since, they weren't shy about the fact that we were going to see him again. So he made a passport for Ichabod, so now he can go places and buy beer and stuff like that. He was so aggravated, and you could say maybe it's because it was boiling in him because he could sense Abbie's, discomfort about Katrina, but I'm not even going to give him that. And then he did that thing that I don't like, which is that here he was criticizing another man for being arrogant, which I don't think Nick is arrogant. Criticizing another man about being arrogant, he's as arrogant as he is annoying. And the show knows that he's arrogant. The show has, shouted it out through Abbie, and I thought his looks whenever Abbie pointed it out, like, I can see why that would bother you. I thought he understood, but I don't think he realizes that he's super arrogant and a know-it-all and freaking insufferable at times. The way he was going on about Nick, who was, I can't say it enough, he wasn't doing anything. So, and then Ichabod ends the episode. Let me go back. So Jenny she got out of jail thanks to Abbie. Abbie got her to do some community service, so she's out. And so there's Reyes watching her and starts talking about a dog, and I'm like, are you comparing Jenny to a dog? Like, I know she was gonna make a point, but it's like, are you comparing Jenny to a dog? So she basically tells her, don't get killed, don't end up like your mother. And Jenny's like, what do you know about that? So Jenny goes and meets up with Abbie and Ichabod. I guess she had to, well, actually, no, she was still in the precinct, so she didn't have to walk anywhere. So she goes over there, puts in Abbie's password into the database, and accesses Reyes' file. There she finds out that Reyes was there when her mother was put into Tarrytown Psychiatrics or whatever, Tarrytown. And so Abbie's like, yeah, I know. And so Jenny's like, okay, but did you know that it was her testimony who put her there? And Jenny's like, no, she didn't know. Abbie's like, no, she didn't know. Jenny gets super emotional. Abbie doesn't. And so then Jenny goes off. And so then she's doing community service. There's Henry across the street like, bitch, I'm me. Jenny picks up the coin, sets out to go kill Reyes. Here comes Abbie to talk her down and all that stuff, and she lets her know, yes, sometimes I hate mom and all that stuff and all that stuff. Okay, you guys watched the episode. I, summed it very quickly because I want to say something about it. This is something that Abbie needs to work on. She has accepted that there are bad things in the world. She's accepted that. She's accepted the whole witness thing, okay? But it's like, here's the thing. So she found out that Reyes was there when that Reyes was involved when her mother was committed. Fine, she didn't tell Jenny, okay. But then Jenny finds out and tells her this, and even the way Abbie says, yeah, I knew, it's like detached. She's like, yeah, I knew. It's kind of like, so, yeah, so. And so then here's Jenny going, don't you think that's a big deal and all that stuff? And Jenny gets emotional. She put our mom in there and all that stuff, and Abbie is raising her voice too, but she's not emotional. She's downplaying it. And so it's like, and so that regresses them back to the relationship they had before, where it's like, Jenny's in this. She's not in denial about it, whatever. And Abbie's kind of still stuck in, I am well-adjusted. I'm well-adjusted, and I'm normal, and all that stuff. And so then it ends up making Jenny feel alone, while Abbie is there walking the normal life, the well-adjusted life. And so then when we get to the climax, she opens up and tells Jenny that, I hate her. I think she was talking about the mom. She said, I hate her sometimes, for giving up and for blah, blah, blah and all that stuff. And it's like, okay, that's beautiful. And I just hope that going forward, she'll be able to say that right when Jenny, right when it happens. Well, it'll be something that she can bond and get closer to her, something she and her sister can bond over, and something that will bring them closer, as opposed to when, Jenny finds out, she wants to talk about it, and Abbie kind of like, she retracts and she goes within herself and puts on the normal, well-adjusted front, the thing that kept her out of Tarrytown, way back when. So I hope that that'll be part of their growth as sisters and Abbie's growth as a character, especially since she told Jenny, like, back in season 1, you know, we're gonna get through this together, we're gonna find some answers, we're gonna find out why we went through what we went through. Okay, this was an answer. And when the time came, not even a push came to shove, the time came, and it was like she had no time for it. She had no time for what Jenny wanted to talk about and how she wanted to react. You know, I even expected Jenny to be like, well, of course you don't think it's a big deal, Abbie. You didn't end up in Tarrytown. But Jenny didn't say that, and I feel like in some ways, Abbie should have been able to see why Jenny was getting emotional. It's because her mom was put into the same place that she was put into. Doesn't that count for something? Not in Abbie's mind at the time. So this episode builds and hinges the tension, like the climax of the episode, on Abbie and Jenny, especially Jenny's feelings about Tarrytown and about her mother and about her time in Tarrytown. And they even had Rhea say, hope you don't end up like your mother and all that stuff. So they build it on Jenny, they build it on Abbie and Jenny together, and then the climax happens. The plot, the important part of the plot is built on them and their need for answers. Okay, so then Abbie gets through to Jenny, Ichabod tackles her down, they take the gun away, and she's saved, okay? And so then afterwards, Reyes calls Abbie into the office, and she gives Abbie the file on her mother, which surprised me, because at some point I was looking at Reyes like, okay, so are you about to reveal which side you're on? Because the way she was acting, I was just doing my job, but I was paying very close attention to her face to see, because at some point it looked like she was forced to do her job. But maybe I was reading too much into it. So I was like, you're about to reveal yourself. But then she goes and does this considerate thing for Abbie where she, tries to give her some answers. And so she gives Abbie the folder. And so we cut to a voiceover. And then we cut to Abbie. She's reading from the file. And so we pan around and around and around. And who is she talking to? Is she reading this file for the only other person in Sleepy Hollow who cares about what's in that file? Miss Jenny? No. She's talking to Ichabod. And so this is where the episode becomes not cute. Ichabod's whole insufferable thing could have been whatever, because from the last review, if you watched it, I'm super excited anytime they give me male sisters. And they were doing great. Great, 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 great. We get to the end. The resolution, Abbie gets it, Jenny doesn't. And because Jenny doesn't, because this show has done a good job of building and developing Abbie and Jenny. I was watching that scene when Abbie was trying to get through Jenny. And I was like, Ichabod, aren't you jealous? Aren't you jealous that you and Katrina do not have this? Like, no matter how many times they say she's the love of your life, no matter how many times you mention her name, y'all don't have this. Y'all don't have this great substance where where not only is what Abbie's saying important to her as a character, but Jenny hearing it is important to her as a character. Tell me about Ichabod and Katrina talking about something where Ichabod is being developed and moving, growing, and Katrina's growing too. Like, so because they've done such a good job, them not putting Jenny in that scene, give Tom the day off for that scene and bring, what's her name, Lindsay? Bring her in for that day and let Abbie. I don't understand why they wouldn't give. If you want to have Ichabod in, have him in the background ordering a drink, nursing a drink, looking for Lonely at a drink because he can't pay for it, he can't afford it. Put him in the background. Give Abbie and Jenny this scene. I don't understand why that didn't happen. Way back in season 1, you talked about, them and their mother. Remember how mom used to make us read the Psalms and stuff like that? We're going to find answers. They get the answers. You started off, okay, typically, yes, conflict, whatever. You resolve it in a way, in a fashion. Then they get some concrete answers about their mom, and Jenny's not there. Why isn't she there? So because she wasn't there, Abbie didn't get the full resolution that she could have gotten, in my opinion. Because she says all this stuff to Ichabod. What does he come up with? Some, like, platitude thing where he mentioned the historical dude who was featured in the episode. That's all he can offer, and that's all he can offer, an anecdote, because what does he care beyond Abbie about what the hell happened to her mom? Meanwhile, Jenny is right there. She's as emotionally involved in the mother's fate, her time at Tarrytown and what became of her, as Abbie is. So Abbie says, you know what? Reading all this, you know, our mother was tormented. She was tormented by demons. Why would you not have Jenny there when you just had an episode where she, you know, last season, The Vessel, where you said, okay, she was tormented by demons, she was possessed and all that stuff. You revealed that she got herself committed on purpose because she was being haunted, she was tormented, and she didn't want to hurt her sister. Then you reveal that their mother pretty much did the same thing, and you don't have Jenny in the scene? That makes no sense. And so it just, like, the story lagged right there. And so then there's Ichabod offering up a story, and I'm like, I don't care. What would have been great, what would have been better, was if Abbie said, you know what? I read this and all that stuff, but I still kind of wish she'd made the other choice, and she'd, like, stuck with us and been there with us. And Jenny could have been like, I agree. Or, as the person who went through the same thing as the mother, could have been like, it sucks and it hurts, and I want to say that I wish she would have been there, but honestly, considering what I did, I get why she did it, and I would have done the same thing. Jenny didn't get closure in this episode, and I know it's like, it's only the beginning of them learning about the mother, but it's a type of closure, because they got an answer. Only Jenny didn't see it, and I guess she's gonna see it off screen. But what is that crap? Come on, you guys care about Abbie and Jenny. Why would you not give them this? When Ichabod, Katrina, and Henry needed to have a scene, you guys sure took Abbie the hell out so that they could have it together. So why didn't you give Jenny and Abbie this? It's just super disappointing. Super disappointing. Ichabod didn't need to be there. So that's pretty much all I have to say. Oh, no, that's not all I have to say about this episode, because one last thing. Ichabod said to Abbie that trust is the most important currency. I mean, trust couldn't buy you that ID that you needed, could it? I'm joking. But, so he says that trust is the most important currency, is the most valuable currency. So it's basically Ichabod doing that thing where it's like, we need each other because we're both witnesses. I didn't feel it. And it's not because I was salty over Jenny. It's because I feel like, are you guys compensating for something, writers? Are you compensating for something? Because let me talk about just the ones that come to mind, okay? When Ichabod burned, well, actually, before even that, when Abbie found out about Grace, her ancestor, Ichabod said, I guess all we really have is each other. When he ended up burning the map, he was like, I want you to trust me, blah, 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 blah. Season premiere was beautiful. Was beautiful. But it was like, you know, but actually that one, they showed. So, it's just like, basically, I'm hearing it too much. Like, I'm hearing it too much. Like, how do you end this episode with trust is the most important currency, we need each other because we're witnesses, and then in the commercial for next episode, you have him saying trust is the most important currency, we're witnesses, we need each other. I mean, that's basically what he's saying. The words were different, but it's the same damn thing that he's saying. And so my thing is that, but we're in a moment when Ichabod is, you know, Abbie told him, you know, every time he mentioned Katrina, Abbie was like, and so he finally called her out on it, and she was like, she brought up a very important point, which is that Jeremy Henry is Katrina's son. And she has a lot of guilt and a lot of emotions about how he's turned out. Do we really think that when it comes time for it, she's going to be able to fight against her baby boy that she had to give up, and because of you know, whatever, she wasn't there. Because of the choices she's made, basically, she wasn't there. Well, not the choices she made, because she did get punished. So something happened to her. It wasn't all her, but she wasn't there for him. Do we think she's going to turn against him? Very good point. So it's like, you know, Ichabod's doing the most. He's getting on my nerves, and, you know, he's not really thinking straight in regards to this. You know, basically, Abbie's feeling a type of way about, you know, this whole Katrina Henry thing, and basically his ability to think straight, because he's shown her that he can't really think straight, which is fine, but it's like, he keeps saying this stuff, affirming their partnership, and it's like, but Abbie's doing fine. Like, she's doing fine. She's present, she's okay, she's here, she's doing what needs to be done. So why do you keep telling her something that I know he's trying to build her morale, but it's like, all we need is each other. Trust is the most important currency, but you're the one who's bringing doubt into it. Like, so it's like, are the writers trying to compensate for something by having him say this over and over and over again? This episode, then next episode, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be, we're gonna hear it again 2 episodes down the line. Like, usually I love hearing it, but in this episode, in that scene, I was like, I mean, it's not the best you've ever done. Like, I just heard this very, very recently. I'm gonna hear it again tomorrow. Are you compensating for something? Maybe for the fact that, and I know it's the storyline for this season, but if it's the storyline for this season where Abbie has that or whatever, then let it be. Because Ichabod's reassurance means nothing if at every point he's gonna get emotional, allowed, but whatever, he's gonna get emotional over Henry and, you know, do the most, summon the kindred. Where is the kindred? Who knows? You know, just stuff like that. So when he said it, I was like, whatever. Whatever. So that's the root of all evil. Root of all evil. It's a coin. Judas coin and all that stuff. So excited for Nick. He's super cute. Can't wait. Abbie's beautiful. Jenny's great. You guys did me wrong with that last scene. Ichabod was a pill. We'll see about next episode. This episode, like, the plot was good. It's the resolution for Abbie and Jenny that I wasn't feeling. So that's that. Ichabod's trying to play Abraham and Henry against each other. That's what I believe. Like, I don't think she sincerely, like, she wouldn't mind, but I don't think she's going into this with, you know, let me try to get close to my son. I don't think that's what's happening. When she was, like, bad spying earlier on Abraham, and she heard Abraham admonishing Henry. So I think she's like, oh, I have an N. And so that's why she said to Abraham, oh, he went back to the house. It's because he wants to get close to me. Meanwhile, Abraham's burning the damn bed. We saw Irving. I mean, there's not really much to say there. Ichabod's like, the fight. And Irving's like, my family. Did you guys notice when Ichabod was doing his voiceover and he was like, oh, trust, the thing about trust, or the thing about war is that you never know when people's alliances lie? When he talked about people shifting alliances, they showed Henry. So do you guys think that at some point Henry's going to switch over? Because I saw him get a little bit emotional when Katrina mentioned Lachlan's house. So do you think he's going to switch? Do you want that? I don't. Even if him and Katrina get a little bit close, I don't want it to end up being, oh, I turned right. Because he's a good villain. Like, he was getting things. Like, he infected 2 people in this episode and got 3 of them killed. Oh, no, he got 2 of them killed because the person who actually made the bomb survived and got carted off to jail. But yeah, so I noticed that when Ichabod said people's, you know, alliances shifting, they showed Henry. So that's my thoughts on the episode. Comment, let me know what you think. Were you as disappointed about the whole Jenny Abbie thing? Or were you fine with what you got? Let me know what you thought of Ichabod in this episode. And all of that good stuff. So I'll see you guys next week. I don't know what the next episode is called, but we'll see how it turns out. This episode was better than last week's. Alright, so I'll see you then. Thank you for watching. Bye.